Today, you're standing on the threshold of a revelation so powerful, so life-altering, that it could break open the floodgates of wealth into your life. You're not here by accident. Every twist, every turn, every hardship you faced has been a part of the journey that led you to this moment. There's a reason you're here, and it's because the universe has prepared you to receive something extraordinary. Imagine a life where money flows into your world like a river that never runs dry. Picture yourself waking up each morning, free from the weight of bills, debts, and constant financial worry. No more wondering how you'll make it to the next paycheck. No more sleepless nights spent stressing over mounting expenses. Instead, see yourself surrounded by wealth, with money arriving effortlessly, almost as if it's drawn directly to you. What if I told you that this kind of wealth isn't just possible, it's waiting for you, flowing in a hidden current that's been circulating for thousands of years? Imagine being able to tap into an energy so potent that it draws thousands, even tens of thousands, into your life with minimal effort. And this isn't some far-fetched fantasy. This wealth frequency originates from one of the most powerful and mysterious civilizations of all time, ancient Egypt. Imagine being able to draw in $500, $5,000, even $50,000 just by tuning yourself to this hidden wealth wavelength. The Egyptians knew the secret well, and it brought them riches, influence, and abundance beyond belief. The pharaohs, the architects of the pyramids, the priests were all attuned to this ancient wealth of energy. This wasn't just luck or coincidence. It was a mastery of universal wealth energy. In the next few moments, I'm about to reveal how you can tap into the same ancient wealth frequency that once brought untold riches to the pharaohs of Egypt, a powerful energy hidden away for thousands of years, and now finally within reach. But before that, let me share a short story on how I discovered this secret. Hi, my name is Joey Quinn, and just a few years ago, I was trapped in a world of worry and debt, living paycheck to paycheck, always hustling, yet never getting ahead. Every dollar was stretched, every bill loomed, and it felt like life was slipping through my fingers as I fought just to stay afloat. My days were filled with stress, and my nights were restless. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, a pit growing in my stomach as I thought about the bills piling up, the rent I could barely make, and the looming threat of losing everything I'd worked so hard for. No matter how hard I worked, it seemed like real financial freedom was some distant, unreachable dream. I had tried everything: side jobs, budgeting, every tip and trick I could find. But none of it changed the reality that I was trapped. As if things weren't bad enough, my personal life was crumbling just as fast as my finances. The constant financial strain had driven a wedge between me and my wife, Lisa. We barely spoke anymore. Every conversation turned into an argument about money, about the sacrifices we were both making, about the life we dreamed of but could never seem to reach. I was working myself to the bone, sacrificing time with my family, and for what? It felt like no matter what I did, we'd never get ahead. And then came the night that shattered everything. I remember coming home late, exhausted and defeated, only to find my wife in tears, a look of guilt I couldn't quite place. At first, I thought maybe it was just the stress, that she was feeling the same despair that had been eating away at me for years. But then she broke down, confessing that she'd found comfort somewhere else, with my best friend. Hearing those words, it felt like the world stopped. In one moment, everything I thought I could rely on was gone. My marriage, my trust, my friendship, all of it shattered. I was numb, lost, with nothing to hold on to. It was during this dark, seemingly hopeless time that something unexpected happened. I was sitting in a dingy diner one night, staring blankly into a cup of cold coffee, lost in the spiraling thoughts of everything I'd lost, when someone called my name. I looked up, squinting, and saw a familiar face smiling back at me, a face I hadn't seen in years. It was Ryan, my old friend from college. Back then, we'd been inseparable, two guys with big dreams and plans to conquer the world. But life had taken us in different directions, and we hadn't spoken in nearly a decade. I barely recognized him at first. He looked different, happier, healthier. There was a glow about him, a confidence I hadn't seen in anyone in a long time, least of all myself. He offered to buy me a meal and I couldn't refuse. As we sat down together, he started sharing bits and pieces of his life, almost casually like it was nothing. He talked about his new home, a sprawling house with gardens and a view over the hills, a place that sounded like it had been pulled out of a movie. He spoke about his wife and kids, about the freedom he had to travel, the investments he'd made, the life he was living. All the while, there was this ease in his voice, a peace that felt completely foreign to me. When Ryan asked me how I was doing, I felt something in me shatter. All the strength I'd been pretending to have, every wall I'd carefully built around my pain, came crashing down in an instant. Right there, in the middle of that small diner, I broke down, unable to hold back the tears that had been hiding behind forced smiles and hollow reassurances for so long. It was like a dam had burst inside me, and everything poured out: the relentless financial strain, the heartbreak of my wife's betrayal with my best friend, the gnawing feeling that life was slipping through my fingers while I was trapped in a never-ending cycle of struggle and loss. I'd been holding it in for so long, and now, for the first time in years, I had nothing left to hide. As I cried, I could feel the eyes of everyone in the diner on me. Strangers were staring, some with curiosity, others with pity, and a few with outright discomfort. But at that moment, I didn't care. The weight of my life, the heaviness of everything I'd been carrying alone, was finally too much to bear. My shoulders shook, and I could hear my own voice rising, breaking the silence of the diner as I sobbed openly. But instead of feeling embarrassed or ashamed, I felt Ryan's hand rest firmly on my shoulder. He didn't flinch, didn't try to shush me or tell me to pull it together. Instead, he looked at me with an understanding that was deeper than words, a calmness that steadied me when I felt like I was falling apart. His presence was like an anchor in the middle of my storm, and in that moment, he was the only one who mattered. "It's okay, Joey," he said softly, his voice calm and steady, a stark contrast to the noise inside my head. "I've been there. I know what it feels like to think you're never going to make it out. I know what it's like to feel like you're drowning, like everything you've ever loved is slipping away." Those words pierced through the pain, calming me just enough to catch my breath. Ryan didn't let go, didn't let the weight of my misery push him away. And as I wiped my eyes, looking into his eyes, I saw something there that gave me hope. Something real. Something I hadn't seen in years. When I finally quieted, he leaned in, his voice low but filled with a kind of certainty that was impossible to ignore. "Joey, there's a way out of this," he said, "but it's not what you think. It's not just another job or some new hustle. It's something different, something ancient. It's a frequency, a hidden energy that connects with wealth itself. It's a source of abundance the Egyptians once knew. A wealth frequency that built empires, treasures, and lives beyond imagination." His words were like a lifeline, something solid to hold on to. He explained that he'd discovered this frequency, the wealth Midas frequency, as he called it during one of his own darkest times, that he'd once felt as lost as I did now. And yet he'd found this hidden pathway, a connection to wealth that had transformed his life. "This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme," he assured me. "It's not about working yourself to the bone. It's about aligning with a powerful, universal force that has existed since ancient times. It's an energy, Joey, a frequency that anyone can connect to if they know how. And once you're attuned to it, wealth finds you." I could still feel the eyes of the other diners on me, but now their stares didn't matter. Ryan's voice was all I could hear. He was offering me something I hadn't felt in years. For the first time, I could see a way out of the darkness, a way to rebuild my life without the chains of scarcity weighing me down. As he spoke, I felt a calm settle over me, a new strength beginning to rise from somewhere deep inside. There, in the midst of my breakdown, with strangers staring and my friend's hand steadying me, I knew that I'd found my way out. As Ryan slid the small black thumb drive across the table, his eyes met mine, and his voice dropped to a low, hypnotic tone that seemed to wrap itself around me, pulling me in. "Joey, this isn't just any audio file," he said, leaning in. "Inside this drive is the Wealth Midas frequency, a direct connection to the wealth energy that has been hidden from the world for centuries. It's pure, ancient power, and it's been protected by layers of security for a reason. He paused, letting his words sink in. To access it, you'll need to enter 3 passwords, he continued, his voice almost a whisper. This isn't something casual, Joey. This is an ancient frequency, carefully guarded, and it takes 3 levels of security just to hear it. Only those who are truly ready for this power, those willing to step beyond the ordinary, will get to experience it. My heart raced as I looked down at the drive, feeling its weight in my hand, the potential it held. The thought of those 3 passwords was intoxicating, like doors to a hidden world, each one taking me deeper into a mystery that only a few could ever understand. Ryan's words felt almost otherworldly, as if they were reaching into some hidden part of my soul that had always been waiting for this. He leaned closer, his voice softer, almost like he was sharing a sacred secret. Joey, this isn't just sound. It's a frequency that aligns you with wealth itself, a direct line to the same energy the Egyptians used to build their empire. Once you hear it, your entire life shifts. Money doesn't just come to you, it seeks you out. I could barely breathe, his words pulling me in deeper, filling me with visions of a life free from struggle, free from worry. It was like he was offering me the key to a world I'd only dreamed of, and all it would take was unlocking those 3 layers of security. Take it, Joey, he said softly, sliding the drive across the table. All you need are the passwords, and everything will change. I took the drive in my hand, feeling the weight of possibility, the promise of abundance it held. I played the sound before my sleep that night. Hearing the frequency was like an invitation to something otherworldly, a secret connection to abundance that most people never even glimpse. As soon as I pressed play, my body would start to relax, a sense of ease and warmth filling every part of me. My mind cleared, every worry and doubt fading away as the sound pulled me deeper into a feeling of calm confidence, an inner knowing that everything I desired was not only possible, but on its way to me. The very next day, something shocking happened. A $250 refund appeared out of nowhere, just sitting there in my bank account from some old bill I'd long forgotten about. At first, I thought it had to be a fluke, some strange coincidence. But then, just 48 hours later, a staggering $1,000 showed up from a relative I hadn't spoken to in years, an uncle who was never known for his generosity. And that was only the beginning. Every time I listened to the Wealth Midas frequency, it was like tuning myself to a hidden treasure chest, an energy so rich, so pure, that I could feel my life changing with every note. The sound wasn't just audio, it was something more, something that wrapped itself around my thoughts, easing every worry, every doubt, every fear. As I listened, a warm wave of relaxation would wash over me, calming every racing thought, filling me with a powerful sense of certainty that wealth was on its way. And as if by magic, wealth really did start arriving. Another $5,000 came from an investment I'd forgotten about, then another check for $2,300 from an insurance payout I'd never even filed for. Within a week, I had over $15,000 money that I'd never dreamed would come to me so easily. Money I hadn't worked for, chased, or even expected. It was as if the universe was suddenly bending itself to my favor, aligning to bring me opportunities, wealth, and success. After only a week of listening, the financial shifts were extraordinary. My bank account seemed to multiply overnight. I received $7,000 from a real estate deal I hadn't thought would ever go through, and then another $12,000 from an unexpected bonus at work, an amount that left even my boss astonished. And just days later, a business opportunity I dreamed of, but never thought I'd get landed right at my feet, bringing with it a check for $25,000, more money than I'd made in months of grinding away at my day job. It was almost surreal, the way wealth seemed to flow toward me, drawn by some invisible force. I wasn't hustling, wasn't struggling. I was merely listening, letting the frequency fill me, feeling its power transform me from the inside out. Money wasn't just coming to me, it was practically seeking me out. Like I had become a magnet for abundance. Checks, bonuses, deals, investments. It was all arriving without effort, almost too good to be true, as if the universe was simply pouring its riches into my life. This wasn't just a normal sound. This was an ancient frequency, something that pulsed through my very being, aligning me with the wealth of the ages, the same power that the Egyptian pharaohs had once harnessed to build their empire. I could feel it in every cell of my body, a radiant energy that promised freedom, ease, and wealth beyond anything I had ever known. In less than 2 months, I'd received over $100,000 in unexpected income, a windfall of wealth that seemed almost unreal. But it was real. It was sitting in my account, transforming my life, making me realize that this frequency was more than just sound. It was the key to a hidden world of abundance, a treasure trove that had always been there, waiting for me to tune in. And now, with each listen, each effortless dollar flowing into my life, I knew I was finally living the life I was meant to live, free, abundant, and overflowing with the wealth of the universe. As the wealth continued to pour into my life, I felt a deep, almost overwhelming realization. I couldn't keep this to myself. Here I was, finally free from the chains of scarcity, watching my bank account grow day after day with ease. Every time I listened to the Wealth Midas frequency, it was like the universe sent another wave of abundance my way. And I knew I had been given a gift beyond measure. How could I not share this? But when I told Ryan, he shook his head, his expression serious. "Joey, you don't understand," he said, his voice calm but firm. "This frequency isn't just some free-for-all. The more people who listen, the more diluted the wealth energy becomes. The wealth that flows to each person will be divided, diminished. This isn't some viral trend or gimmick. It's a treasure, one that has to be protected." He looked at me, his gaze steady. "I only shared it with you because we went way back. You're like family to me, Joey. And if I'm honest, you were one of the only people I knew would respect this power. I wasn't planning to share it with anyone else." I felt a pang of disappointment, but I knew Ryan was speaking from a place of deep understanding. This wasn't just a tool, it was a sacred frequency, a hidden energy that needed to be handled with respect. But still, I couldn't shake the feeling that others deserved the chance to experience what I had, to feel the freedom and abundance that had transformed my life. I spent hours talking to him, sharing stories of friends and family who were struggling, people who, like me, were just trying to get by. Finally, after what felt like endless convincing, he sighed, giving me a long, thoughtful look. "All right, Joey, I'll allow a few slots, but only a handful. 47 to be exact. But once those are filled, that's it. The more people who listen, the more divided the wealth becomes. This isn't just about money. It's about the pure, unfiltered energy of wealth. If too many people tune in, that energy will spread thin, and the wealth it brings will lose its power." With those words, I felt a surge of gratitude, knowing that Ryan was taking a leap, trusting me with something precious, something sacred. 47 people would have the chance to unlock the Wealth Midas frequency, to align themselves with a source of wealth that could reshape their lives, just as it had reshaped mine. And now those slots are open, a rare and fleeting opportunity for those who feel ready to step into a world of true abundance. After Ryan reluctantly agreed to open 47 exclusive slots, I immediately thought of the people closest to me, the friends and family who'd been by my side through the toughest times, who were still out there, struggling just as I had. I shared the Wealth Midas frequency with them, and within days I watched their lives begin to transform in the same miraculous way mine had. It was like watching a light switch on for them, their financial worries melting away as opportunities and unexpected wealth started flowing into their lives. But each time I shared it, I knew that I was one step closer to reaching the limit. Ryan had been clear. Only 47 people could access this frequency before its power would begin to dilute, before the wealth it summoned would be divided, spread thin. I had to be selective, careful. After sharing it with those closest to me, I realized that only 37 slots remained. 37 precious opportunities. 37 chances for people who were truly ready to unlock the Wealth Midas frequency and experience the abundance it could bring. This was more than just money, it was freedom, the kind that most people only dream of. The Wealth Midas frequency is unlike anything you've ever experienced. Imagine a powerful ancient sound, a hidden frequency carefully guarded through centuries, capable of drawing in wealth as effortlessly as breathing. When you listen to this frequency, it doesn't just attract money, it activates a deep, universal connection to wealth itself, a cosmic magnetism that pulls prosperity to you from every corner of the universe. Picture this. Within days of listening, your bank account begins to grow, not by hundreds, but by thousands of dollars. Unexpected checks, forgotten refunds, investments that double overnight money flows to you from sources you never even knew existed. It's like the universe rearranges itself to send wealth in your direction, aligning every opportunity, every potential windfall directly to you. The Wealth Midas frequency doesn't just add zeros to your bank balance, it transforms your life. Bills that once loomed over you melt away, replaced by deposits you never dreamed possible. You'll no longer be chasing money or struggling to make ends meet instead. Money finds you effortlessly, abundantly. Imagine $1,000 from a forgotten refund, then $5,000 from a random bonus at work, and even tens of thousands from unexpected business opportunities. This isn't fantasy. This is the new reality the Wealth Midas frequency creates. And every time you listen, the sound surrounds you, filling your mind with a calm confidence, a sense of certainty that wealth is no longer a dream, but a guarantee. The energy of ancient Egypt, the hidden wealth of the pharaohs, is now working for you, drawing riches into your life 24/7. This isn't just money, it's freedom, power, the life you've always wanted but never knew how to reach. With only 37 slots left, this is your moment. A rare, powerful chance to rise above the struggle, to finally step out of the cycle of scarcity and into a life of freedom and abundance. If you've been weighed down by bills, constantly counting dollars, wondering if life will ever be more than just getting by, then seize this opportunity. Imagine a world where money flows to you with ease, where doors open instead of close, and where dreams become reality. As Scripture reminds us, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Therefore, let us cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Romans 13:12. This moment is your chance to step out of the shadows and into a new beginning. With only 37 slots remaining, this page will soon close, and with it, this life-changing opportunity. Don't let this be another missed chance. Take the step now to lift yourself from the grind and embrace the life of abundance, respect, and freedom that is rightfully yours. This is your time. Don't let it slip away.